Hey guys, Eddie here from Delayed Property. Today I am super excited because I want to jump on here and do a quick video just explaining a little bit about the differences between buying property in New South Wales and buying properties in Queensland. So I thought I'd jump on here and do this video for a few reasons. One of the reasons is because we deal with a lot of clients that are as a buyer's agency, we deal with a lot of clients that are in Melbourne or Sydney. Those clients are used to buying properties in New South Wales with the New South Wales laws when it comes time to signing a contract of sale, and not a lot of them go into a purchase or like they have hesitations about buying a property because they think the laws are the same in New South Wales. They think the laws are the same in Queensland as they are in New South Wales, when in fact the legality side is completely different when it comes to signing a contract. So I'll run you through, and I'll try to keep this video short and sweet, some of the differences between Queensland and New South Wales. So number one, we'll talk about the deposit side of things when you go to buy a property in New South Wales compared to Queensland. In New South Wales, the general rule of thumb, how it works, is when you negotiate a property, you have the locked in price that you negotiate it for. You generally will put down 0.25% of the purchase price. So if you work out, what's 1% of, say you buy a property for $1 million, 1% of that property would be $10,000. Then 0.25% of that would be a quarter of that. So $2,500 basically you'd put down. So you put down $2,500 to buy a property for $1 million. And the pros and cons with it is basically that holds the property generally in New South Wales for a 5-day cooling off period. A lot of times you get extended to 10-day cooling off period while you do things like your pest and building, you get your full finance approval underway. But basically, if anything, the pros and cons, to summarize, the bad thing about New South Wales from my experience is that you lose that 0.25% no matter what, if anything goes wrong. So if pest and building comes back bad, right? Say you go do the pest and building inspection and the house is just rubbish, like it's full of termites, and you can't fix it, the seller won't agree to fix it, and they won't agree to give you a price reduction, and you just have to walk away from the deal, you lose the $2,500 if you buy a property for $1 million. So same if you buy a property for $200,000, $300,000, $500,000 in New South Wales, that's the 0.25% is a fee that you pay to hold the property locked in. You sign the contract while you do your pest building finance. So if anything goes wrong at all, you forfeit 0.25% of that deposit. So that's New South Wales. The Queensland market and Queensland laws are a little bit different. Queensland, you generally put down a $1,000 deposit in general. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less, but we always negotiate properties and you put down a $1,000 deposit. And in Queensland, you generally have a 14-day pest building and finance clause. So you have a cooling off period, but no one generally uses it. You generally utilize the year 14, or most of the time in Queensland, you extend it to 21 day for finance, 21 day for pest and building, sometimes short, sometimes less, depending on the terms, conditions, and how quick they need to sell and what the negotiations are like. But generally 21 days for pest and building, 21 days finance. So if anything, the good thing about buying in Queensland from a legality side of it and deposit side of it is that if anything goes wrong during that 21 day period, and say you do the pest and building is bad, you don't lose that $1,000 deposit you put down. You get it back. You pull out under the pest and building clause or the finance clause. Say if your finance gets knocked back, you get that $1,000 back, or whatever deposit you put down on it, you get it back within that period. As long as you tell them, I've been knocked back on finance, and sometimes I ask for proof, a lot of times I don't, but they say you basically get that deposit back as long as you pull out within that 21-day period. And sometimes you can if you need an extension, it's not the end of the world. Sometimes you generally just ask for an extra week extension. You get your conveyancer solicitor to draw that up and put in the request. They grant you the extension, or they don't grant you the extension if you need it. But to summarize, New South Wales, if anything's wrong with pest, building, or finance, you forfeit 0.25% of the purchase price. In Queensland, if you buy properties in Queensland, you put down $1,000, usually negotiated at the time of purchase. Usually it's $1,000 or $2,000, sometimes it's more, but generally it's $1,000. And if anything goes wrong during that 21-day pest building finance clause period, in relation to finance or pest and building or generally anything of that sort, you just pull out under those clauses, depending on which one you pull out under. If you get knocked back on finance or you're having issues with finance and you can't get finance, then you just pull out under the finance clause and you get your $1,000 back, and then you just move on to a different property, or you reassess and you buy a different property. But that's the pros, that's the cons about the deposit side of things, buying in New South Wales compared to buying in Queensland. There's no right or wrong. There's some other legality side things that, New South Wales is better than Queensland on, and something in that deposit side of things. From my experience, it's a lot better legality wise and putting down deposits, because in Queensland you're not at risk basically of losing that deposit, because you've got there's more leeway in getting your deposit back. If something's wrong with the pest and building inspection, you get your deposit back. So as long as you follow the right terms and conditions, you're not in breach of the contract, you get that deposit back. So I personally love, those kind of laws and dealing with that kind of stuff and dealing with those conveyancers, solicitors and that kind of stuff compared to New South Wales. I've bought properties, owned properties in both, but just thought I'd jump on here and explain the difference as simplified as possible. So as always, this is not financial advice. Just thought I'd jump on here and share my experience. A lot of investors don't know this kind of stuff and they don't have any idea, because a lot of people don't buy that many property, but thought this video would help. So thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll catch you next video. Bye.